All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel, the only star basketball channel talking about what is going on with star cards. Actually, kind of the 101 in particular, but star in general. So, this is going to be a little shorter of a video. I was going to do a different video, but just because so much is happening with all these record setting prices and everything, I thought I'd focus a little bit. Plus, I've been very, very busy the last couple of weeks, probably the last 3 weeks. I just been with multiple facets of life. So all nothing negative, all kind of just positive and just all kind of standard work stuff. But just been very busy, so it's been a little bit harder to get over to doing video stuff. But I did want to say, which I never ever do, but I kind of want to start out as say, subscribe if you don't. And not for the reasons that most people say, subscribe to my channel, because it's going to be some type of monetary buildup. I'm not going to make, there's no monetary goal here on this channel. I never had it, nor will it ever reach any. And I just actually want to get like the people who I want to have it just shows me how many people are caring about star cards and watch. I get a pretty solid viewership percentage. Again, I've talked about this. I actually have a very high percentage of subscribers views to subscribers. Some, generally if you're getting about 5 to 10%, and I'm kind of consistent around probably about 40% to 50, and that's really really good. So it's just something that would like to see. And I never talk, hey, subscribe, because it just sounds cheesy to me. But now that I'm doing it, again, it's just kind of something to see how the numbers go for strength of star folks. So that being said, I do want to talk about. I was going to do actually a vid on uncut sheets, just because I've seen I now have a lot of pictures of uncut sheets, and I kind of wanted to share those and what I've learned and talk about centering standards and stuff. But today, again, I want to talk about kind of what I think is happening with Star, and why I'm thinking it's actually going to be different. I thought Star would just actually trickle up, and I'm going to kind of talk about the 101 in general, because it leads the pack, and it, to me, again, I data model, and the 101 is by far just king. This card is unique in the entire hobby by a mile and 10. It is just it is unique by far in the hobby as far as a modeling perspective, and this card will continue to see, in my opinion, the biggest growth. It is still way undervalued, and not because I own it. I actually went out and got it because I modeled it and went, whoa, this card should be massively valued. A few estimates that I hear that were high to me, I think it would be low at a PSA 7 valued at 150. Some people are saying 400, and you're like, whoa, those are way too lofty numbers. Watch what it gets there. The same thing was said about the mantle in the 80s, 90s. It does take time, and it's the trickle up effect. Now it has too many things going for it. But I do want to talk about, there's been, private sales. So this PSA 8 sold last night for 268,400. I thought this might go a little bit higher, but this is fantastic. I know everyone wants the super record shattering, super jump up in sales, and I that's not what you need to see. What you need to see is a continued trickle up. It is a much better thing, because when prices spike too quickly, then you're going to see what happened last time. For the people who don't know what happened last year when the prices spiked, the only thing that derailed that is that it went up really fast. So someone put a whole bunch up on, I believe it was Golden. But what was funny is I had a lot of trolls that were just like, you did that. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? They put up a whole bunch of golden sales, so there was like 12, and that was a bit to scare. And when you have those scare things, it changes sentiment really fast. So what's happening this time is you're actually seeing, what I've noticed is auction sales are small. They're actually kind of right now. I thought we were going to have. There's actually, this one shows on Altus 2 at Golden, but it's actually the same one. This is an error one. This is actually the same card. I don't know why why it shows up on all that way. But you have one at Golden, and you have, it looks like two over at Fanatics, and that's it. So auctions are low, but the amount of ones that people are putting up that actually want to hold, this now went back to the mid range. eBay got really low on the amount. Now people are putting up, but they're asking lofty, solid prices. They want to hold on to this card. And again, I'll get to my theory in just a second why I think this is happening. But people putting up sevens and BGS sixes are, everything's just going in the 20s for these low grades, and now PSA fives are in the 30s. That's, and people were like, or 20s and high 20s. Everyone's basically, actually, I want to go see what this has for the last sales for a PSA 5. Everything, a rising tide lifts all boats. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was in the 30s. I thought there was I thought there was a couple in the 30s. I don't know if this is right. I know we hit. I do think where I think prices are right now. I think PSA 5s are going to be in the 30s. PSA 6s might itch right at 50. And I think PSA 7s, I know of private sales. I've heard rumored. I know the 60s, those I know of. And then from what I understand, there was a private sale, just rumors. So I can't, but generally these kind of turn correct. But there was one at least in the 70 range, near 80. So, but I don't like to speculate, so it's hard for me to even say that. But I know those are in the 60s, and I think that the next PSA 7 sale will definitely auction in the 70s. So that is my guessing on pricing right now. PSA 6 is going to be right around 50, and you got 5s at, kind of mid 30s. So everything's just going. And again, obviously 195s, 288s, it's kind of all the way around strength, but this guy is going to lead the pack. And why? So what I think is happening this time, it's interesting to me. Like I said last time, that last time you basically had a bunch, and that gets harder to happen now. I don't think the same thing can happen. It could, but not quite the same way. The people who didn't sell last time in the same price spike, and now prices are back to where they were at the kind of the top, in some ways breaking those records, is you have a lot of collectors who hold, and you now have more homes that are here. And now here's the difference. I think now institutional and higher end investors are coming in. They're calling this the Jordan, the rookie card. From a person's perspective, it is only logical that this is the rookie card and the only rookie card. So people coming in, and especially investors, the high institutional, there's going to be more institutional exposure to this. And those guys have big bucks. They don't care about the, they're not out to save a 1,000, 2,000. They're out to get the very high end cards. And this is now being considered the perception. Again, it's the exact same thing I've been saying the last 2 years. There is a massive perception shift in the hobby about what the Jordan rookie card is. You're seeing it all over social media, people more comfortable saying it. And that's changing the perception of star cards in general, but really is the 101. This is the rookie card. And this is a side note that it just happens to be 100 times rarer. And that's probably the number as to what it actually is. That's just a byproduct. That isn't the logic of what makes this, valuable. That's part of what makes it valuable, but it's the 1984 that makes it the rookie card. And it is the first licensed NBA card. Anyway, I think institutional and higher end investors are now stepping in much more than they did last year. The perception is changing. There is more people coming in, and there's more people inclined to hold, and they're buying at these prices. People in the Star group. So I want to talk this is the Facebook group here. Again, if you haven't join. This is a fantastic place to get Star cards, and it really is the best place to buy and sell, but also to find out information and whatnot. But the people in this group, they aren't actually going to be. I think what's going to lead the pack are going to be these higher ending auctions. that are going to be coming up. Not in the group has been around so long, and a lot of people that the prices to them are really high, but to people on the outside coming in new, they're just normal prices. These shot up because they should, but they still have room to run. People are a little more conservative when you see prices go up to their high. You're like, oh, I better sell because this is the highest I'm going to get. And I think that these are going to run just like Jeremy Padawar. I think that these are going to continue to go and just trickle up over time. And the auctions are going to lead the pack, because that's actually a lot of people in this group think that everyone, all star card investors are here. No way. There's a whole ton of new people coming in. They don't care about joining Facebook groups, and they're out there with money, but they do care about the cards. And there's a lot of, obviously people who care about the group that coming in, and some people just don't join Facebook groups, or they don't care about, eBay auctions. They go to Golden, they go to Heritage, they go to high-end auction houses, and they buy these. So that's what I think is happening, and I think will continue to happen. And I think we're going to see just a continue uptick. So I was more cautious on the price spike last year. Remember, even in running up, I was saying, hey, be cautious. If you're buying right now, buy. If you love the card, buy it. And I say that now, obviously, but now, and I was very, very cautious. I'm actually going to boldly kind of take another prediction that I don't think what happened last time is going to happen this time. So you can go back, watch my videos. You can watch how cautious I was. I'm kind of singing a different tune this time, and we will see if I'm correct. I've been pretty good on my predictions so far, as far as star cards and things happening, and I've called it since the last year. And I've called the bottoms, and I've called I've got cautious at peaks. This I don't think is a peak, and I just think too many people are stepping in, and for the older people who have it, the pool is much, much larger of buyers, and it is continuing to grow. So again, I have a hard time, I don't want to say quote unquote, it sounds like pumping, but I just believe it. It isn't like a thing that I'm hoping, the price goes up so super sky high. That's not what I want. I do think, again, I think leveled approach of it going up is what you want to see. So it is kind of a good thing that this PSA 8 over here didn't shatter over, didn't go over 300 last night. And for the people, but it did break a record, and we're going to continue to see records broken. So slow and steady is going to win this race, and it's going to be good for star investors. And I think, again, auctions are going to lead the pack, and there's so many born buyers now. So I'll say this, and I hopefully get this uncut sheet video out next week. But again, subscribe, and I will see you at the next video.